Hello and welcome to the Free Fast 3 newsletter podcast edition for our email that went out on Thursday the 13th of March. So how's your fortnight been? Did you do anything with the 3 subjects from last time? This time around I've got 3 slightly different areas for your consideration. We looked at sound, editing video and replacing Google. Sound. Now, many of you may know I'm an audio enthusiast. I love audio, I love recording it, editing it, learning all about it. There's a reason why, at last count, I have 21 different microphones, because they all do something different. And I do realise that I'm maybe in a minority with this kind of stuff. So why am I sharing this with you? Well, there is a podcast that I've listened to probably altogether about 5 times over now from start to finish. And it is a real thing of beauty. I'd say it's one of the best sonically crafted podcasts I've ever listened to. And it's all about sound. It's about sound as it appears in music, in the landscape, animals, breathing, outer space, and loads more. So if you're looking for a podcast that maybe isn't about productivity or hustle or war or Trump, but you just want a pleasant distraction from the daily grind, this one is absolutely perfect. It's called Sound Matters, and you can search for it on your podcast app, or I'll put a link to, I think it's Spotify, in the show notes for you to listen to it. Give it a try. It's just a really nice podcast. I mean, obviously not as nice as this one, but, it is really nice. Editing video. Now, lots of us, we create video posts or content, don't we, with our phones. And if you do that, you might already have a really solid process for editing those videos. When I'm making proper videos, I've got my setup sorted. But recently, I've often found myself in hotel rooms or out and about. And what I want to do is make a quick video, maybe add a couple of images, some captions, or a bit of a logo at the end. Something simple, but I want to do it on the move. And I haven't yet discovered a satisfactory way of doing it on my mobile. I've tried lots of options. I've tried CapCut, but I soon learned that you've got to pay for captions in CapCut. I've tried Canva, but Canva didn't really let me edit videos very well. So I did a bit of research and I found an app called YouCut. It's actually been around for a while, but it is really cool. You can edit videos. You can have multiple layers. So you can sort of have yourself talking while you're showing some imagery of something else that's going on, or stills. You can add captions, and it's got a whole load of effect stuff there. Probably that isn't really for me. But it's £8 for a full year. And I think that's really good value. I'm really enjoying using it so far. So if you want to find an alternative way of editing your videos on the move for TikTok or Reels or whatever, give it a try. Let me know what you think. What I've got is a link to their YouTube channel so you can actually see how it works. It's called YouCut Mobile Video Editor, and the link to that YouTube video will be in the show notes. Replacing Google. So here's a question. Have you tried using ChatGPT's web search function instead of Google? I don't know about you, but these days I find Google increasingly unsatisfactory. By the time you've waded through the ads and sponsored and the things that don't look like sponsored, but it turns out they are sponsored, and the suggested videos and these new Gemini AI suggestions I'm finding are very often inaccurate, I often find myself on page 2, and no one goes to page 2. I've discovered a great alternative, and that is searching for what you want on ChatGPT, but typing the question in verbatim. So you go into ChatGPT, you type in a question like, tell me about the reasons why training doesn't work in organisations. But you switch the search the web button on before you press the go button. What that then does is that gives you a nicely laid out response. But for many of the points in the response, it's then got the links to the relevant sites where you can go and find more information. It is a nice alternative to Google, and I'm increasingly choosing to use it instead of Google. How do I show you this? I found an article from someone called Tom, who thinks the same as me. It's called Using ChatGPT Instead of Google, and I'll put the link to the article in the show notes. So that's it for this edition. In the email, it says, don't forget the podcast version will be out soon. Well, you're listening to the podcast version. And I'm going to start putting these out on Sundays now as well. So subscribe to make sure that you get it in your inbox. The link to subscribing it will be in the show notes. To find that or listen to any of the back catalogue, make sure you check out the Sharp Podcast archive. And again, I'll give you a lot of links in the show notes to find it. So as we always say, until next time, don't compare yourself to anyone else. Just try to be a little bit better than the person you were yesterday. Have a great fortnight. See you later.